Throughout math, one of the common problems you're going to find is with fractions. You need to know how to manipulate fractions. In this case, we're going to begin with adding and subtracting fractions. When you add or subtract fractions, the most important thing is that you have common denominators. So our denominators have to be the same. In this case, they're not. I'm going to show you how you would change this so that they do have common denominators. So now, to find the common denominator, we need to use what we know about our LCM, or our least common multiple. That LCM is going to be our new denominator. So we can list the multiples of each number so that we can find the common denominators. Now, the 5 and the 10 are relatively easy ones. Everyone knows how to count by 5s and by 10s. That's one of the first things you'll learn in math. So we don't have to go far to find that the least common multiple is going to be 10. So now what we need to do is set up our problem with the denominators of 10. So I have 3/5. I need to make my 3/5, I need to turn it into a denominator of 10. So you ask yourself, what do I multiply this 5 by to equal 10? Well, we're going to multiply it by 2. Now, whatever you do to the denominator, you also have to do to the numerator. So not only am I going to multiply the denominator by 2, but the numerator by 2. Now I want you to look what I've done. 2 over 2 is 1. I'm multiplying it by 1, so my number doesn't change. The way it looks changes, but in truth you have the same amount. That's why whatever you do to one number, you have to do to the other. So now I have 5 times 2 is 10. I multiply the top. 3 times 2 is 6. So my new fraction is 6/10. So now all I have to do is plug this in. Instead of saying 3/5 plus 2/10, I'm going to say 6/10 plus 2/10. And remember, the reason I can do this, these are called equivalent fractions. 3/5 and 6/10 are equivalent fractions. That means they represent the same number, they just look different. So now that I've found common denominators, I can add straight across. Here's the catch, we only add the numerator. 6 plus 2 equals 8. Our denominator remains the same. I'd like to visualize this problem now. Here I have 6/10 shaded. So I have 6/10 and I'm going to add 2/10 more. So if I shade 2 more tenths, I now have 8 out of 10 shaded. That's why 6/10 plus 2/10 equals 8/10. Now I'm going to show you how to subtract fractions. Remember, we need common denominators, just like when we add fractions. And in this problem, 4/5 minus 2/3, I don't have common denominators. So I'm going to use the LCM, which is the least common multiple, to find my common denominators. To do this, I'm going to take both of my denominators and list their multiples. So I'm going to start with the 3. The reason I like starting with the lower number is sometimes you'll find where it overlaps much quicker. 12. So common multiples of 5. So here I've listed just 3 numbers and I've already found the common multiple. And remember, we're looking for the LCM, the least common multiple. So the least common multiple in between 5 and 3 is the number 15. So now I'm going to rewrite this problem using the common denominator of 15. Well, I can't quite rewrite that problem, can I? I have to figure out what my numerators are going to be. So I have the number 4/5, and I need to turn the denominator into 15. So I have to ask myself, what times 5 equals 15? Well, I already found it, 3. So whatever we do to one number, we have to do the other. 5 times 3 equals 15, 4 times 3 equals 12. 4/5 is equivalent to 12/15. so I can write that in. Okay, I'm halfway there. Now I have 2/3. I use the same process and figure out, okay, how do I make this 3 into 15? Well, 3 times 5 equals 15. Whatever I do the bottom number, I have to do the top. 2 times 5 equals 10. So 2/3 is equivalent to 10/15. Now, my problem has common denominators, 12/15 minus 10/15. Now I can subtract. Remember, I'm only subtracting the numerator. 12 minus 10 is 2, and my denominator stays the same. So 4/5 minus 2/3 equals 2/15.